Dialed in DIY, we have Recycle Your Celebration 2, the On Fire finale. It may look like a Molotov cocktail, but danger's not what I'm going for here. If you remember in the last video, we did Recycle Your Celebration, the warm-up video, using the small bottles and making oil lamps or alcohol lamps. Well, today we're ramping it up big time, and we're going full Tiki torch and making some really cool accent lights for your next party, celebration, or just hanging out. In fact, they work great for an emergency, say when the power runs out. Please do keep in mind though that today's build is an outside light source only. We're going to start off by making our own wick. I'm using 100% cotton rope, and I'm cutting a piece that's just a few inches longer than the bottle itself. In a smaller version of these, you may recall that I actually took an aluminum can and took part of the side out of that to put a little bit of a wick sleeve in place. This helps to protect the bottle and to keep the wick nice and secure. We're going to do the same thing here, but a little bit bigger. Now that we're ready to prepare the wick, we want to go ahead and make sure that we get all that tape off of there, because we don't want to accidentally have that on a burning end, because that will make a mess. As you can see here, the rope wants to start unraveling immediately, so the quick solution to that is grab a piece of cotton string, wrap it around it, and tie it off, and that'll keep it from unraveling inside the bottle when we're done. You can experiment a little bit with the size of aluminum that you want to use for making your wick sleeve, but I picked one that was about 3 inches by 2 inches, and then just wrapped it like a piece of tape around the wick itself to make sure I had the right size. Test fit it in the bottle and make sure it holds everything in place. Once that's done, take it back off and start to punch some holes in the side. As you do, poke through and then push down. This will leave a sharp edge pointing up on the inside that will actually help to keep the wick in place. You can pull the wick up further, but the wick will resist pulling back down into the bottle. Just make sure those little notches are pointing up and start wrapping it back around. Once you're done, settle down inside the bottle top and bend the top part of that sleeve back a little bit. That will make sure that your sleeve doesn't accidentally get pushed down inside the bottle. You want to be really careful not to make any spills while filling your little tiki torch, and the best way to do that is to use a funnel to fill it with. If you don't have a funnel handy, you can find some kind of a small bottle like I'm using here and just cut the end off. It makes a perfect little funnel, and if you pour slowly, you can get the right angle and prevent spills. I'm actually using total pure tiki torch fuel here because, assuming it's the day after your celebration, quick and easy is kind of what you're after. The torch fuel I'm using here actually has citronella in it too, which is great because that helps to keep flying insects away. Added benefit. Notice that I did make sure that the rest of the tape was off of this before I went ahead and put the sleeve back on the wick and put the wick down inside the bottle. Before you light it, you do want to make sure that your wick is fully soaked with the fuel, and that can actually be done a little bit better if you put more fuel in the bottle. You definitely want to leave at least a few inches at the top to make sure that you have some headroom for that wick in case the fuel expands. While you're waiting for that wick to get ready, you can actually make another option build by using the foil ring from the top of the bottle. Just pull the cap out of it, put the foil ring back on top of your bottle, and poke a hole through it. You can then put the sleeve right through that, and you've got a little bit more of a decorative look to the finish of your bottle. To help speed up the process for the wick getting completely soaked, try dripping some fuel from the top of the wick. It will soak down at the same time it's soaking up. What you end up with is actually a very effective tiki torch. Remember, just like all other tiki torches, these are meant to be used outside. If you like the idea of this project, check out the links in the description below. I've got the mini version highlighted, as well as a few more. In one of those videos, I actually made a little mini alcohol candle, which was perfect for use with my DIY fog maker. I took that candle idea, dialed it in a little bit more, and made this 3-flame alcohol burner that was really cool. I used a very unique wick in this build, which was perfect for long-term use because I've been using it with my siphon coffee maker. But if you need to heat up water, coffee, or anything else on a camping trip or backpacking trip, try out one of these little alcohol stoves. They're fantastic, and they're a lot of fun to make. Please keep safety in mind when using your tiki torches, and do come back and check from time to time to make sure the glass at the top of the bottle is not getting too hot. As long as we're on the topic of celebration, hey, why not check out a couple of my videos where I made some really loud horns out of recycled materials. As with all of my projects, I really want to encourage you to be safe out there, which is why I suggest that you do your own research and read everything that you can find about the types of fuels and materials that you're using. Be safe, have fun. Thank you for watching. Please press like and then subscribe. There will be more dialed in DIY to come. DIY, we have Recycle Your Celebration 2, the On Fire finale. It may look like a Molotov cocktail, but danger's not what I'm going for here. If you remember in the last video, we did Recycle Your Celebration, the warm-up video, using the small bottles and making oil lamps or alcohol lamps. Well, today we're ramping it up big time, and we're going full Tiki torch and making some really cool accent lights for your next party, celebration, or just hanging out. In fact, they